Hello everybody, this is Gunther from CineD, and today we are going to take a closer look at the new GoPro Hero 10. I had a chance to take the new GoPro Hero 10 on a 4-day mountain bike trip to Eastern Tyrol on the Canico High Altitude Trail, and we're going to have a look at that footage a little bit later in this review. Well, what are the new features that the new GoPro Hero 10 brings to the table? First and foremost, there's a new GP2 processor that enables various things we're going to talk about in this little review. On the one hand, the most obvious goodies are new high frame rate modes. So you can film in full 5.3K resolution at up to 60 frames per second. You can film in 4K 120 frames per second and 2.7K 240 frames per second. That's of course huge. It's basically doubling the frame rate of all previous GoPro generations at these resolutions. And I have to say, 5.3K mode is really good. It's very detailed, it's a very nice and organic looking image, as well as the 4K 120. It almost doesn't lose any resolution, and 4K 120 frames per second is really state of the art for any action camera that is out there. No other action camera can do this at the moment. The 2.7K 240 frames per second mode is also a really great addition in comparison to the previous Full HD 240 frames per second mode. But I have to say it's rather soft. I'm not even sure if it is Full HD. But what is nice, the stair-stepping aliasing of previous generation GoPros is gone, but I would recommend 4K 120. What is a bit of a letdown is that these modes require 30 frames per second as a base frame rate, meaning you get 8 times slow motion capabilities, and you cannot film in 5.3K at 24 frames per second. I don't know why this is gone, but it is what it is. That would have enabled 10 times slow motion capabilities like previous generation GoPros. You can only film 24 frames per second at a 4K resolution, which is a really good mode as well. Another nice addition, HyperSmooth 4.0 has arrived, giving us electronic image stabilization now in all resolutions and frame rates. I didn't buy fully into the previous claim, no gimbal needed of GoPro, but now with HyperSmooth 4.0 I really like what I'm seeing. You get very reliable electronic image stabilization, which works really well, which is a big plus because it does not require any larger setups on the gimbal or whatever now. You just use the camera as it is. And that's, by the way, one of the big beautiful things of action cameras. You just take them, you film, you don't have to worry about focus, you don't have to worry about exposure. You just take it along and you film. The not so obvious improvements are definitely concerning the battery life of the new GoPro Hero 10 and also the overall responsiveness of the touchscreen. Previous generation GoPros always were very power hungry. You had to take a lot of batteries on your trip to get through the day. I was quite surprised on my bike Canico, the 4-day mountain bike trip. One battery basically takes you through the whole day if you keep your sequences short. I had a second battery with me, but almost didn't use it, which was a big plus. Also, the touchscreen responsiveness has improved. It's now snappy, very responsive, and you can also use gloves to change your settings. However, the size of the touchscreen has not changed. It's basically occupying the same space as in previous generation GoPros like the GoPro Hero 9. Also not immediately obvious, but very helpful, is a new front lens cap, which obviously has a new coating. It helps to keep off dirt and it seems to repel water in a much better way. So that really helps and it's a nice improvement. Also the lens flares look better now, but they are a bit bluish at times. Now, what is on my wish list for future model GoPros? How about having multiple lenses on it, like recent smartphones are having? That would be a nice improvement. Also, sometimes I think the bitrate of this current model is a bit on the lower side. I wish that in a future firmware update, higher bitrates can be offered. sometimes in low light situations you see quite some artifacts which are not only due to the sensor but also to the codec and the low bitrate. So all in all, the GoPro Hero 10 is a very matured product with state-of-the-art frame rates no other camera has to offer, but also a very good battery life. Also hiccups of the past related to the software, like at higher frame rate modes, we had some stability problems, sometimes the camera was hanging up, are not happening anymore. I did not experience that on the 4 days mountain bike trip, so that is great. To be honest, I have not upgraded my personal GoPro since generation 6, which came out in 2017, but now with this new model I'm seriously thinking to upgrade my personal camera as well. So basically that was a quick rundown of the new features of the GoPro Hero 10. But now let's have a look at some real-life, real-world footage that I took during a 4 days mountain bike trip at Eastern Tyrol. It's the Carnico High Altitude Trail, which is normally a hiking paradise, but we tried this with a group of friends on our e-bikes.
Du, ich habe Kartons dazwischen.
Hello guys, this is Gunther from Cinity, and today I'm having the new GoPro Hero 10 in my hands. We got an early sample and I took it on a mountain bike trip to Eastern Tyrol, and our first stretch is going up to the Silian mountain hut. It's at 2,500 meters height, and over the next couple of days we are going to do many meters of altitude on the Carnischer Höhenweg, the Alps of Eastern Tyrol.
Good morning everybody! We had the first night at 2,550 meters of height, and I have to admit I did not sleep very well. It must be the height, but it doesn't matter because the sunrise now is just absolutely spectacular. Wow, wow, wow! Standing on top of a mountain like that, absolutely amazing. We're going to have a rather long stretch to cover today. It will be more than 50 kilometers and more than 2,100 meters of height in altitude. Hammer!
Entschuldigung, das sind die 3 Ziele, also 2 davon.
Alright guys, we are almost done now. After 7 hours of sitting on the bike, doing more than 2000 meters of altitude. We're still not there yet. It's just the last stop before we have another 300 meters of altitude to go. But this was an absolutely epic day, I have to say. Wow, I'm totally amazed how beautiful Eastern Tyrol is. It's just amazing. Wow. Good morning everybody. Day 3. We are now on the Italian side. The Refugio Calvi is on the Italian side of the Baico Carnico. We're going to have a rather difficult stretch because we are going up this ridge over there. And today in the morning, of course, it was a fantastic view again. As you can see, it's just gorgeous up here.
A big shout out goes to our editor Luciano, who compiled nice footage out of my 1.5 hours of raw material. I hope you liked what you saw. Please subscribe to our channel. See you soon at cined.com.